What up? What up? Got something on my hat. What's happening? What's happening? Something on my hat. What's happening? What's happening? What's the deal? I don't know what that is. Driving me insane and all that. What's up, y'all? What's going on? What's the deal? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Oh, appreciate it. Leakey, what up? Real Mrs. G, what up? Butterfly Lexies, what up? What's going on? Ian, my little brother, the entrepreneur, what up, baby? What up, little bro? MC Shine Alt, what up? Aunt Love. Scream upstairs for a lint brush? That's what you said, Aunt Love? Scream upstairs for a lint brush? That's hilarious. Let me see what's going on. What's good? What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the vibe? What's the vibe? What's the vibe? Spark Wealth, what up? Miss Taina, what's up? My three sons. Get some tape and tap that hat? Yeah, right there, right there. You mean that one spot, right? I just keep hitting it, right? Yeah, you know what? I am gonna get some tape and hit that hat. I think that was actually good advice. I don't know what the hell that is. I think it's my conscience messing with me. This is like the funniest moment in history. You see? Do y'all see that spot right there? Ah, got it. Yeah, crazy. Yo, Booty Gal, Crazy Legs was dope with Spice, right? Yo, with Spice, it was crazy. My man was dope. See what I'm saying, love? Went and got that tape, didn't I? You didn't expect that, right? Diesel Mom talking about take my hat off. You know I only take my hat off when I'm Sam Hannah. You know damn well, y'all been fucked with me for years. You know I take it off when I do Sam Hannah and I do the movies. You know that. You know how I move. Stop acting like you don't know me, man. Even though you don't know me. What up? R.E., let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it. What's up?
Sir.
How you doing, man?
I'm good. LLCOOLJ.
What,
Nice
what
to
up,
see you,
Ari?
man.
What's happening?
I'll tell you what's happening. Shout out to everybody. Ari Melber from MSNBC. We just had LLCOOLJ on MSNBC News, but you're giving us extra time. It's nice to join you.
Absolutely, man. I'm glad to be here. Absolutely.
Where should we start?
I mean, it's up to you, man. All good vibes, good energy. I think, where we left off, I was just telling you about everything I was doing for the culture with rockthebells.com, and I was explaining to you like different people who had ownership in this platform that we built. Run DMC, Eric B, Fab Five Freddy, Roxanne Shante, Big Daddy Kane, and quite a few other people. Risk, Crazy Legs. This is just, Ernie Panicoli, Jonathan Mannion, Salt and Pepper. And I just wanted to build a platform, a home for classic hip hop culture, because I feel like a lot of people forgot about Generation X. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like either OK Boomer, you know what I'm saying? Or it's Chase the Millennials, you know what I'm saying? But it's like everybody forgot about Gen X. So I wanted to build a place where true fans, true like hip hop culture fans, not just only rap music, but the whole culture, the whole ecosystem could go and have fun. You know what I mean?
100. I mean, part of what you're mentioning is like that everyone knows, I think, who's interested in music. So anyone who's with us right now, there's a lot of shiesty stuff that goes down, a lot of things with artists, but particularly past generations. I mean, why is it important to you to work in some of those people who real hip hop heads may know, but not everyone knows, but you're like, they need to be a part of this?
Because that's the whole, that's the whole point, right? Like, I feel like a lot of people weren't able to capture value. And I think that you can't measure an artist's contribution by how much money they have in their pocket. Not that these people are destined to by any means of the, any stretch of the imagination, but at the same time, like, if I'm going to build a company, a classic hip hop culture company, why not give the pioneers, the people who really paved the way in this culture, you know, ownership in the platform, so that the money is staying within the community, so that, you know, instead of it being for these mega billion-dollar, trillion-dollar corporations, I'm doing it, you know, for the people who actually built the country. I mean, the culture. Because you really think about it, like the labels, the stores, the big companies, all of those things, people just really were just hawks, just gnawing on all of this creative energy that all these artists put out there. And I felt like it was time for us to put ownership back in the hands of the community that created it. You know what I mean?
100. Well, here you are, no surprise, but you're up in Forbes. You know what I'm saying? It says the headline, because, you know, we do the news. LLCOOLJ launching Rock the Bells, the importance of viewing classic hip hop in a modern lens.
Mm-hmm.
And it talks about basically you doing this with the Sirius XM channel, and basically building this out. What does it mean to you when people say, oh, well, hip hop is more than music, right? Hip hop is culture, and it can be tagging and skateboarding and obviously fashion. How's that going to work with what you're doing?
Well, it works in this way. When you go to the site, it's not only just a shop where you can buy everything from affordable items to premium luxury items, but there's all kind of content there, right? There's stories that even hardcore day one hip hop fans won't know about. Because we have the kind of access to these artists that most companies just do not have, right? So we're basically celebrating the culture in a huge way. Like we did a big article on Phase 2. You know, one of the innovators of graffiti, even though he hated the word graffiti, one of the innovators of street art, right? And we did like articles about Crazy Legs and exhibits on Big Daddy Kane, exhibits and tributes to Roxanne Shante. So basically what I've said is every single part of classic hip hop culture, the entire ecosystem has now been put onto a platform where the true fans can all converge and get into it. And I mean, it's all kind of content on there, exclusive audio, exclusive video, long listicles, long form stories. I mean, it's just a plethora of information for people who really love the culture. And then if you want to, you know, buy something, if you want to get a pair of Jordans, if you want to get a fresh button up, if you want to get a do-rag, if you want to get one of those little things to brush your baby hair, you know what I'm saying? You can get that. So it's all things, right? But it's really about the culture. And I feel good about it because, like, I'll have Crazy Legs, you know, who's like the GOAT of B-boy breakers. He'll call me up and say, hey, we need to change that wording on that particular line. Or I have a conversation with, you know, Pepper from Salt and Pepper, and she say, hey, could you do this or do that? So there's a lot of input from the artist. So there's a level of authenticity that we've never had before from another platform. You know what I mean?
I love that. Yeah, I love that. When we're talking to you on the news tonight, but I want to make sure people hear about it. Like, we played some of your very powerful rapping about George Floyd, which was in the same, I believe, was it in the same spot you are right now? 100%.
100%.
Yeah. So, and that's you in your house. How different is that from when you were coming up? Because you blew up as a very big artist, you know, mainstream or whatever word people want to use. Everybody remembers you biting into was it an apple?
Yeah, I'm doing it. Yeah, biting the apple. I took the bite and I was never the same. I bit the apple and I was never the same, B.
Yeah. I don't know if that's like a Bible reference or Macintosh. Or, you know,
I don't either.
the fruit of knowledge, but so mainstream that you had that. But like, what does it mean to you with artists, whether we're talking music, using these platforms today, because you can get out so much faster to so many more people, or explicitly in this movement that we're seeing build, which artists and young people of color are driving?
Well, I'll tell you, you know, that's the whole idea of me saying that hip hop needs to be viewed, classic hip hop, viewing classic hip hop through a modern lens. And I'm going to address what you're saying, but I'm going somewhere with this. When we think about this platform, when we think about what we're doing, we know what date it is. You know, we're clear. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we know the year. It's 2020. Nobody is confused. Nobody is sitting around with their high school ring on talking about, you know, the big game. Like, you know, you just never did anything with your life. But my point is that So we want to take advantage of all the modern technology. We want to make sure that the platform is ultra modern. My fans, you know, and these fans who grew up with us, this small core group of fans who are watching this, they know what time it is. They know what year it is. They know where we're at with it. So it's important that we are always modern and that we are always that, you know, that white foam on the tip of the wave, you know, when it comes to innovation. And when you go on the site, like in the platform, you see that. So that being said, now you can roll out of bed, you know, because you're inspired and because you're frustrated and upset, and you could click your phone and you could, you know, you could write something and you could recite it right now to millions of people. You know, when I wrote that, I didn't know that I'd have, you know, 1.7 million views on Instagram and 2.4 million views on Facebook and whatever million views on wherever else it went. I had no idea. It was from the heart, but that's the democratization of access. And I think that that access that all of the people have, you know, right now is what's making the difference in the world. You know what I'm saying? That's what's making the difference in the world, you know, because that's the reason why the whole world is on this page, and the majority of the world is trying to get on the right side of history because they were connected, you know, through this modern technology. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, completely. And what do you say to young artists today? I mean, did you get anything out of it being a tougher road with platforms being way more limited on who controlled them?
Well, you know, let me tell you something. If anything, it just represents different challenges. Before, the barriers to entry, it was harder to get in, right? Now you can get in, but what does that really mean? It's like throwing a cinder block in the ocean. You got making noise is what's difficult. A lot of people can get in, you know what I mean? But then what? You know what I mean? So I wouldn't say that we had it any easier or they have it any easier, you know, because, you know, when I started, you know, it was just almost impossible to get a record deal. Now it's everybody can get a record deal, but it's almost impossible to cut through and get a hit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
funny
there's really no difference.
Yeah. Well, you're saying something that that a lot of people who've made it to a certain point say, and it's something 50 Cent talks about. Shout out to 50. But you know, he says the biggest mistake young artists make, but this could apply to anyone if you're watching at home and maybe you're not an artist, but you're your first big job or the first big break. He said people think getting a record deal is success. It's not. Mm-hmm. Getting a record deal is the first time you're just going to find out whether or not a lot of people like your music.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, it's actually even deeper than that. I think that, you know, when if you're blessed and lucky enough to actually get the opportunity, that's when the work begins, right? It doesn't, you know, it's not like, you know, at the beginning of when you start the painting, your work has just begun, and when you finish the painting, your work has just begun, because that is the journey of an artist. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about like I made it. This idea of I made it. I mean, you know, Bill Gates, you know, one of the wealthiest men in the world. It could be over in a second. Anything can happen. So you've never really made it. There's no such thing. It's just you're having success and you're doing well, and that's great. But like when you get tired and you're exhausted and you feel like quitting, you're not even halfway there. You know what I mean? Remember, the most dangerous time in a war, in a battle, is when you think you won, because then you stick your head out of the foxhole to look around, and that's when you get caught by the sniper. You feel me?
Well, I read you're talking like rules of strategy type. Like I read once that if you really understand what fishing is, you know, people who like to fish, it's this battle between the person and fish, right? And both of them think they're hunting, because the fish thinks it's about to take out a big juicy fly.
That's right.
But the human is using, and humans aren't very good. You can't just go grab a fish. They're fast. They have skills we don't have, but we're using our minds to say, oh, you thought you were hunting? No, you just got hunted. And that's like an allegory that if you really process it like that, can apply to a lot of things.
Oh, no question about it, because, you know, there's a saying, you know, a saying that, you know, it's like a little meme, and it's a mouse looking at a mousetrap, and he's staring at the cheese and only the cheese. And it says a mouse can only see an inch. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So it's like
And you're
so
not even talking about
if you
that
want to be
government cheese.
successful, you know, you got to have some. It's gonna require vision, and you got to understand that there's gonna be pain and there's gonna be a lot that you go through in the process. Like a lot of times I talk to like guys and I say to them, I tell this story, you know what I'm saying? Humor me for a second. I say, you know, the amateur says to the professional, yo, I really, you know, I want to be successful. I want to be a pro. I want to go to the top. I want to do my thing. I want to hustle and be the one, right? And then the professional says to the amateur, well, you're going to have to sacrifice. It's going to be blood, sweat, and tears. It's going to be sleepy nights. You're going to be exhausted. You're going to have to put extra work in to make it. And then, you know, and you're going to have to be willing to give it up, give all of it up to go get it. And then the amateur says to the pro, well, that's easy for you to say. You're a professional.
Right.
Everybody wants it until it's time to really go get it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, how bad do you may want that deer, but are you willing to sit out there in the snow at 3 in the, you know, at whatever time in the morning, the crack of dawn when they first come out to eat? Are you willing to be freezing? Are you willing to put it all on the line to go get it? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, now we got to get into something a little superficial.
Let's do it.
For how good you look, okay? I mean, it's not just me. The commenters here, which I keep an eye on some of them, are saying, how does this man look the same?
I would tell them very simple.
Later. I read you're 52?
Yeah. Yeah. 52. I would say melanin and a ring light.
Come on.
Melanin and a ring light.
A ring? Oh, you're saying your setup. No.
My setup. I got the glow.
No, but you must do a lot to
to
stay in your energy and
I'm in the gym, man. I'm working out. You know what I'm saying? I worked out this morning. You know what I'm saying? You do a lot of legs that burns fat. You know, I try to be the best I can. I try to eat good. You know, just had me a protein shake with some blueberries and a little peanut butter in it. You know what I'm saying? Just now. You know what I'm saying? I try to just stay right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Do you do like a leg day, or like how do you mix it up?
No, I try to do full body every day. You know what I'm saying? I try to do full body every day, but I do extra legs sometimes. Like today, I did a lot of squats and lunges, but I try to do full body every day.
Because I love the Jay-Z line where he's like, people talk so much shit, they could skip a leg day.
Yeah. He said he could skip leg day. Yeah. The verdict's out on that one.
All right, what's the verdict out? Why? Because sometimes, all right, let's get into this. Sometimes it's harder to be funny in bars, right, than other things. Like, it's easier to be aggressive, right, or just be kind of like flossing and bragging. I mean, we all know different styles, right? When MCs try to be funny, it's harder. That line for you, what? It kind of becomes corny? Like, what are the lines that you think are the MCs that you think do funny well?
Oh no, I think Jay has a great sense of humor when he's rhyming. I think Slick Rick has a great sense of humor when he's rhyming. I think 50 is funny up like with his social. He doesn't crack as many jokes on the mic, but he's funny too. He's real witty. A lot of
he's quick with the emojis
out there. Huh?
I was just saying, 50, before this world we live in now, if you saw 50 coming out the way he did, you wouldn't have expected this guy. He drops more emojis than, you know, anybody. You know, when it's like there's always 4 emojis.
Game, that's like his emoji game is on a trillion, right? It's all good. That's my man Fifth. That's Queens in the building all day. You know, his emoji game is on a trillion. No, I don't use a lot of emojis, man. I use them a little bit, but I don't overdo the emojis. You know, me personally, like the grown man leaning on the emojis is a little nuts. It can be a little nuts, like, you know, the smiley face and the cry. It's a little, you know, grown man on the emoji. Like, what we doing? Heart faces, you know, heart eyes, you know. And the other thing, I don't think a grown man should ever write K at the end of as a response. I don't use K.
All right, so I'm gonna, since you're being open, I'll out myself. I'll out myself. I'm a pretty big user of the random animal emoji. Okay. Like just a random bunny or a random bear. And the reason is, when I get intense, sometimes I don't realize how intense I'm being, whether I'm talking or writing. And it's like sometimes I have to check myself and be like, oh wait, fall back. Like, yes, you're intense, but, you know, and text that can happen too, where I'm like, you ask a question or you whatever, and then it's like, no, but what I mean is like 7 or 7:30. Like that's what I'm trying to find out. And then it sounds like I'm maybe coming off, you know, too harsh. So
Now,
I'm like,
you know,
then I'll go 7 or 7:30, and then I just put the bunny emoji. You know, and that means like, it's not that
well,
serious.
it depends on who you sending that to. For me, you know what I'm saying? For me, I'm like, you know, the arm, the fist, maybe a crowd,
Sure.
bottle of champagne here and there. I'm not, you know, hard eyes and bunnies and all, you know what I mean?
All right, but when you put in the champagne, are you referring to drinking bubbly or are you referencing Drake?
I mean, I don't know. It depends. I'm not really on the nose with the emoji game. Like, I'm not on the nose with it.
Okay.
It depends on the, I'm
Yeah.
not above emojis. Like, how dare you? Beneath me with your emojis. You know what I mean? But, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. The other thing that I did want to ask you about, because what's funny for people watching, because I always do like a radio reset. I'm Ari Melver from MSNBC. LLCOOLJ needs no introduction. And he was on my news show tonight. And we were talking about something, but that was TV. It's pretty quick. I wanted to get a little more of you to build on it. You said something that I've heard from activists. I've heard from some Black and civil rights activists, which is this time, this protest movement feels different because it is larger and more diverse than recent ones. That it's a lot of people out there, and we have a lot of them on our show. And let's be clear, a lot of leaders, the first movers, were young Black activists putting their life on the line. Mm-hmm. But some of them are telling us, in addition now, other people, young white people, some older white people, and that's a sign for them of hope. And you were saying, having listed off so much of what's wrong right now, you were saying that now you're also feeling more hopeful. And I wanted you to tell people, like why is that? What do you mean by that?
Well, what I was saying is, first of all, let me just be clear, Black Lives Matter, right? And I think that, first and foremost, we as Black people have to make sure that we represent the culture properly and let people know that we're not comfortable with how it's been moving and we want change. But in addition to that, when you look out on the front lines and when you see people out there getting hit with batons and shot with rubber bullets and knocked out, and it's a lot of people of all different colors. And the one thing I don't want to do is, I don't want this thing to drift where people try to lump all white people in one basket and say, hey, everybody's a racist, we hate everybody, because that's the wrong approach. You know what I'm saying? There is a small group of really loud racists who have some leverage within our country and are making it difficult for us to kind of get away from this thing. But the majority of people, you know what I'm saying, they're on the right side of history. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when you see like people in Germany at rallies in front of the US Embassy, and when you see people, all around the world, all over the globe, Paris, all over America, every state, you know what I'm saying? When you see that, you know that the world is with us. And like what I was telling you before, is like, we got a righteous cause, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a just cause, and it's a just, we're demonstrating for just reasons, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about it. I feel like I see a lot of hope. I see a lot of people that are moving in the right direction. I see the younger generation giving it up, going hard, putting their lives on the line, you know what I'm saying? And I respect that. I respect it, you know what I mean? And yeah, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, I mean, that's something that I think is, I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the new J. Cole song.
No, I did. You know what? I didn't hear it yet. I read some of the lyrics, so I did read some of the lyrics, and
you read the lyrics, and there's whole layers of the argument, the reaction, the controversy. I'm not obviously here to people make up their own minds. I'm not here to try to explain it or overanalyze it. But part of I will say that to me, just listening and following it, part of that controversy and that debate becomes about, and we've been talking about this in our coverage. What do you do with the new people, right? what do you do with people who may be really late to it? But the whole goal in building something that's a coalition, right?
When you say late to it, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Like you said, let's be clear, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
Right? You should be able to say that any year, Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. Because
life matters, because every life is equal. And the reason people say Black Lives Matter is because the system does not treat Black lives equally. So that's where the emphasis is. Black Lives Matter. So when I say get there, I mean, if somebody in 2015 had an idea about that, maybe they were misinformed, maybe they weren't listening, but they weren't there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And now,
I see what you're saying. You know what it is? Look.
Go ahead.
When you light a fuse, if a fuse is a mile long, it's gonna burn, and it just keeps burning. There'll be a moment when it blows up. It's activation energy, right? That leads to movement. Mm-hmm. This was a catalyst. You know what I mean? Like, this was the first time that people all over the world got to see, unfortunately, may he rest in power, a man murdered over the course of 8 minutes and 46 seconds where there was no debate. It wasn't, you know, did he go for the taser? Did he run? Was he resisting? What did he do? You know, the video isn't clear. You know, it's a partial video. The police said he moved suddenly. There was no excuses. No excuses. So all of the other times, plus you have to remember another thing. A lot of people don't realize that they're dealing with implicit bias. You know what I mean? Implicit bias is something that has to be looked at deeply. You know what I'm saying? That has to be really explored, and we have to really get into that and catch kids early. You know what I'm saying?
Well, let me jump in and then you continue. For folks, we're getting all this new information and responses. There are new bills in Congress out now that didn't exist 2 weeks ago. There's a Republican bill and it's got some stuff in it, but it doesn't do anything on implicit bias. Then there's a Democratic bill coming out, and it says you got to have explicit training on what LL's talking about here, right? Not because you start every conversation by assuming everyone has to be racist, but that you want people trained to be aware of, oh, here's a mistake we could make that anyone could make. Let's try to get ahead of it.
Well, here's the thing, Ari. Like, I remember I got in a lot of hot water quite a few years ago. I did a song with Brad Paisley called Accidental Racist. I was talking about implicit.
Now, hold up, LL. I didn't bring it up. You're bringing it up.
No, I am, but I'm bringing it up for a reason. Bring it up because I got in a lot of hot water.
Because, you know, some people gave you a whole time of that.
A lot of people gave me, you know, misunderstood what I was saying, and they didn't realize that what we were talking about is implicit bias. That's what I meant by accidental. That was the whole idea behind it. People thought that I was trying to be diplomatic in saying, look, you live your life, you stay over there, keep your ass over there, I'm gonna stay over here, and we won't have no problems. And maybe, you know, it could have been worded that way, but basically the idea was, let me be diplomatic, let me try to humanize myself to this guy so that maybe we can find some peace. It's pretty clear.
Can I ask you a question? As an artist, I'm curious, and you brought it up, because I don't want, you know, we're here on LL, the LL fans are gonna be like, this guy comes in here and brings that up.
Nah, it's all good.
No, but how did you feel as an artist trying to do that and say that? And it sounds like you feel a lot of people were criticizing it in good faith is one thing, but if people you felt misunderstood what you were getting at and criticized that, how did you feel as an artist? Was that frustrating?
Well, listen, yeah, it's very frustrating and it hurts. Look, it always hurts when there's a miscommunication. You know what I mean? If you care. If you don't care, then you know it's a miscommunication. It's like whatever. But I actually happen to care. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? I actually still care. So for me, the miscommunication, you feel it. But at the same time, you know, sometimes as an artist, you got to get out in front and lead. But guess what? When there was no more room for diplomacy, and when that just didn't move the needle the way I wanted to, when push came to shove, and this thing happened, I was out front, and the message wasn't as diplomatic anymore. You know what I mean? So it's like you try to do things one way. You know what I'm saying? And then if that don't work, we go a different direction with it, straight up. You know what I mean? So I feel like the people out there, this is a moment when we gotta stick together. And you can't be neutral. And you can't try to hustle between raindrops on this. You gotta get wet. You know what I'm saying? You gotta get wet on this. And we gotta know, are you with us or you not? Whereas with that song, I was more trying to be diplomatic, saying, hey, you know, I'm a human being, you're a human being. Can we coexist? You know what I'm saying?
Well, and there's a role for both. Sometimes, you know, as someone who observes this and we report it and we try to get it right, and sometimes if we get it wrong, then we come back and we try to explain it and fix it. Like, as a reporter watching it, there is a role for a speech and pressure, right? Could be Reverend King, could be in North Carolina, the Moral Monday March. That's saying, boom, this is it. And we're putting the pressure on, right? And there's also a role for what you're talking about, which is a dialogue. But by definition, a dialogue's not going to be
right. And you know, I think that now we're at a time now where reason and logic, people don't want to hear a lot of that. People are tired, man. They're suffering. They've been going through a pandemic. We have leadership that is more concerned with compound interests than you know, connecting all the tissues in the country and connecting people together and building up the morale of the country. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of people, like, we're in a situation right now where it's like, you know, if you got a couple of dollars, people are looking at you like, what side you on? That's crazy. Because like me as a guy coming from Queens, growing up in the city, you know what I'm saying, busting my ass, you know, working hard, you know, being a little kid, like starting off at 16, like, yo, I didn't forget where I came from because I got a couple of dollars, and I'm not a billionaire, but I could do all right. I get a cheeseburger, but I ain't forget where I came from. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's this, we're in this weird space where the morale of the country is lower than it should be because we got a guy who walks around with a hammer and sees every problem as a nail. And America needs heart surgery, and you can't do heart surgery with a hammer.
Yep. Well, and one of your commenters here, LL, just posted some classic Lil Wayne bars. What's understood ain't got to be explained.
This is true.
What's understood ain't got to be explained.
Yeah.
And that's what I hear you saying, and I think that what you're saying makes a lot of sense in the moment, right? There are moments that are more about dialogue. There are moments that are more about, hey, look, you got to learn this. But we're hearing from so many people living through this, there's nothing left to learn. You see the video. You see the lack of response. Jelani Cobb, who writes about civil rights for The New Yorker, said, there are problems that involve what we don't know. Certainly, right? I mean, out in the galaxy and stuff. Climate change, people are talking to me about climate change 50 years ago, right? We didn't know what we know today. And he said, when it comes to the racism and the systemic attacks on Black people in America, it's not about what we don't know. We know it all.
Yeah.
And it's what do you do?
I mean, look, you know, you have people that, you know, I heard, you know, guys say, oh, you know, there's no systemic racism. If there is, show me the institution. Show me there's a dude. It's not about an institution. It's about the individuals that are in the institution. You know what I'm saying? Like, you might have, you know, 10, if you got 10, you know, 60-year-old white guys over here, and 2 of them are hardcore racists, 3 of them are kind of like passive, and then the other 5 are just kind of in their own zone, we're in trouble. You see what I'm saying? Because now you got people, so the systemic racism is really difficult. Like, look, as successful as LL Cool J is, imagine what it would look like. And this ain't no boo-hoo, woe is me, LL, or shame on LL, because I'm doing fine. And I'm very grateful. But do you know what my career would have been like if the few racists that were there along the way would have actually opened those doors? My records wasn't playing on pop radio like that. Mama Said Knock You Out is a part of American culture now. It didn't play on the radio when it came out like that. it rose as a song and as a piece of art. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like my thing is that that's systemic. If it's hard for me and I'm an anomaly, don't try to point to LL Cool J or point to the successful NBA guy or point to the successful actor and say, oh, there's no racism. Because I'm the anomaly, okay? There's dudes I grew up with, you know, in the barbershop, you know what I'm saying, right now watching, and they wasn't able to get out because they had somebody putting their elbow, you know, on their nose every time they try to make a move. So don't point to me and say, yo, L, you know, oh, well, if LL made it, then everybody can make it. That's bullshit. It's like hitting the lotto. You know what I'm saying? It's like hitting the lotto. You know what I mean? So my thing is, well, like you got brothers out there right now, they got ideas for restaurants. They got ideas. You got women who got ideas for you know, to make, you know, companies and clothing lines and different things. Do you know what it took for me to be in a position to be, and mind you, I'm not about being bitter. I'm about getting better. Okay, I want to be clear about that as I express this, because I got love in my heart for those who got love in their hearts for me. But what I will say is, do you know what it took for me to get in a position to be able to do, like, to build a platform for classic? It took 30-something years. You know, I didn't just make a 12-inch single and sell out the Garden and, you know, and Good Night and LL Cool J, and, you know, I made one record and now I got an island in Maui. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel me? So my thing is, that's why I feel it's very, very important that we look at the LL Cool J's of the world as the exception and not the rule. Because there's a lot of guys with a lot of talent that didn't get the break.
Well, I think, LL, part of the point that you're just hammering home is how dangerous it is for anyone to try to make decisions or policy, right, by the exception to the rule.
Because it's availability bias.
Right. It's the bias of, oh, so Barack Obama has proven himself to be an amazing leader, and everyone can go through and see because how he got to be president.
That's right.
But anyone who was looking around, I don't care if it was 2008 or 2016, even before Trump was elected, the fact that that happened, right, doesn't tell you about the opportunities and the fairness afforded to everyone else who might look like Obama in the country.
No, you got to look at it like this. You know, you really got to congratulate him, right? Because, like, yeah, it's one thing to congratulate a guy when he, you know, wins a marathon and everybody started at the same spot. But when most people started 20 miles ahead of you and you win a marathon, excuse my French, Ari, he's a bad motherfucker. You feel me? Because, yo, this guy, he started 20 miles behind everybody else and won the marathon, okay? So, because that's what we've been dealing with here. That's what we've been dealing with. So what happens is, and people get into this availability bias. Availability bias is when, you know, you see something once or twice and you think that's how it is, right? That's how it is. You know, you know, you saw a redhead trip over a garbage can one time, and now for the rest of your life, you think, oh, redheads trip over garbage cans. All right? You see a black man successful like Obama. You see a black man successful like LL Cool J, and you say, oh, there's no racism. That's availability bias, because it's not true.
And politically, there are a lot of people who say that America's bill for even getting one Obama was Trumpism.
Well, without a doubt, because the pendulum swung, right? Because, you know, let's just call it what it is. There are some guys and some women in this country who, after having a black president, was so terrified of a woman coming in after them, they was going to vote for anybody. You know what I'm saying? And especially in those certain areas, right? Because she won the popular vote. But in those specific areas, you had people that were terrified and they just edged away from it. But my thing is that, yeah, you had a lot of people who every day they suffered quietly and emotionally because there was a black family in the White House. That's just the reality, right? We know that. I know that there are a lot of dinner tables where a lot of things were said about the fact that there were black people in the White House. And so now, you know, after that, we get a guy, you know, I mean, just look at the difference in the rules. Like, think about it. I mean, Obama's, you know, biggest controversy was a tan suit.
I remember.
Yeah, you know, he has a tan suit on. He's not presidential.
You know, we're talking about crime. I remind people sometimes, you know, Barack Obama went 8 years. No one who he hired, no one who he brought into the government, which is a sacred trust, was ever charged, let alone convicted for anything. That is as lawful and crisp a team. Donald Trump, among other things, has broken the record for the most advisors convicted of crimes of any president. I mean, it broke the record of how fast it happened. And that's what the task will bear. I don't want to keep you on politics all the time.
No.
As a final question,
listen, I'll answer that like this. Look, you can either be there are a couple of ways to lead. You can either pull all the levers in power of power to reinforce your personal power, or you can pull the levers of power to lift up the flock and the masses. Okay, and you know that's just a personal decision that someone makes. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, a great leader has to be there to serve their followers. It doesn't mean be servile. It just means you're there to serve your followers and to be there to lift up your followers when they need a helping hand, to be there as a voice of inspiration and somebody that they can aspire, an image that they can aspire to. That's part of leadership, about being centered and strong. It's not about defending your personal space. Leadership is not about defending your personal space all the time. As a matter of fact, what you want to really defend is the space of your flock, right? You want to like the leader of America should defend America's space and just, you know, not just their own personal space. You know, so that's the thing. When I kind of look at it, I just think that that the true leadership is going to bring people closer together. You know what I'm saying?
And I got to say, the only reason I'm jumping in is your people, working with you and your people for the TV show today has been fantastic. So I thank you guys. Yep. And your manager is telling my folks,
that's cool. But I gotta, you know what? I know
running you late.
You know what? Somebody said you're
speaking in theory. I just want to thank you, man.
No, you're welcome. But hold on, let me just say this one thing to this one person. This person said you're speaking in theory. Nobody is perfect. I didn't say anything about being perfect. I didn't say anybody has to be perfect. Period. I said that's what leadership's about. We're all flawed. We all a work in progress. This isn't about perfection, and you know that. So don't like, so when people say, oh, you're just saying you want to be perfect. No, stop making excuses. Recognize what it is for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And so there it is. So I appreciate you, baby.
I appreciate what you said here and what you said on the news to a lot of people, because people look up to LL, right? You're talking about let's confront it and call it what it is, but there's also room for uplift. I appreciate that. And I hope I get to meet you in person someday.
Yeah, we will. We'll do it, man. You know what I'm saying? We definitely get together and break bread, all right? Salute, my man.
All right, thank you.
Peace
Thanks,
and love,
everybody. Peace.
All right, peace. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? We're just keeping it live. So, yo, what up, what up? You know what I'm saying? All vibes, good vibes. So, yo, who want to do a screenshot? We back in the zone. Real people, real conversations. I just wanted to rap with my man Ari a little bit, talk about life. You know what I'm saying? Talk about what's been going on in the world. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, let me put the channel on. Let me get some music. What up? What up? Yeah. Yo, we vibing, you know what I'm saying? We kicking it, baby. Booty Gal, what up? Mel 40, what up? Pretty Nate, what up? Want a screenshot? Pretty Nate, what up? Jay Hudson, what up, baby?
Oh my God.
Arthur Kateri, what up?
Hey.
What's up, baby?
Hi.
How you doing? Let's get it.
I'm good. How are you? Hold on, on my screen. Hold on, my mom want to see you.
How are you? How you doing?
I love you forever.
I appreciate you too. Much love.
Let's get a screenshot.
Let's do it.
I've been trying to get one forever. Hold on. That's what's up.
Much love. I appreciate you. Take care.
Philly in the house.
Peace and love.
Love.
Love. Love. No doubt. We vibing, baby. Yo, Common, what up, baby? Where Common at? Where my man Common at? What up, baby? What up? Hey, Nostradamus, what's good? Kid in Effect, what up? J-Dub, what up? Jazz on Fire, what up? This is Akiko, what up? Dr. Kathleen McAllister, Munn, what up? Penny Hudson, what's going on? Zaid Shafin Magic, baby, what up? Crushy Love. Kevin Bowie, what up, baby? We back. Yo, Common. Yo, Common, what up, baby? Love, man, I see you, baby. Much love, homie. You know that. Chi-Town. Chi-Town's GOAT. What up? We doing this, baby. Enviro comes tastic. What up? Yeah. Joe Mullins, what up? Yeah, absolutely, Common. We staying true to this, homie. We're not gonna dance on this one, baby. We gotta be straight up. We gotta take care of our people, baby. Jeunesse Music, what up? ASY 9532, what up? What up? B-Boss, what up? Hey, meet me outside. Hey. All right, so yo, check it out, y'all. I'm getting ready to bounce. You know what I'm saying? We're going to definitely kick it tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I got to take care of something. I just saw my schedule. I got to take care of something.
Hey.
What's up? How are you?
Hey.
How are you?
Well, past 2 days not been so good. I've had chest pains.
Well, I want you to stay strong. I want you to stay encouraged. I want you to smile. I want you to just feel better. And I want you to sit up, too, a little bit. Sit up a little bit. Don't lace, sit up a little bit. Get some air in them lungs.
Okay, I'm going to try to get a bitter stressful.
All right? All right?
Okay, hang on just a minute.
And tell me your...
Hopefully too much isn't exposed.
No, you're all right. And tell me your name and where you from.
Kansas City.
All right.
I got the young rappers, my grandsons, remember?
Oh, yeah. Well, much love to you. Stay strong. Come on, let's get us a screenshot.
Okay, let me find where the button is on this one.
All right. Stay
Everyone
strong,
else different. It'll be just a second.
No, it's okay. Take your time. I'm patient. Take your time. How you doing? You had surgery? You've been through some things?
Yeah, I had an open heart and lung surgery last year, so I've been in isolation instead of quarantine. You can probably
stay
see
strong. Yeah,
chest.
I see it. Well, I'm glad. And you stay strong and healthy, all right?
Okay,
Come on, let's do it.
Okay. We got it.
All right, much love. I
Thank
want you to stay strong.
God bless you.
God bless you too, all right?
Hey, I sent you some messages on your
check.
message, on the text message.
What's your name on the text message?
It's gosh, it should be under bbosh1959 at yahoo.com.
bbosh. All right, we'll look for it, all right?
But it's got my 11 Black Lives That Matters, my grandchildren on it.
Yep, I will check it out. I will.
Okay,
bbosh. Much love, all right?
Love you.
Love you, baby. Peace
Bye-bye.
and love. So, yo, I got to go take care of some BI, you know what I'm saying? But I just want to give y'all love. You know what I'm saying? I'll see y'all tomorrow. It's all love. And peace. Stay strong. I love y'all.